Welcome back. You're still watching the Afia Morning Show live from Enugu, Southeast Nigeria. Enugu is officially 34 today. Officially 34 years, 44 years of statehood. That's close to 3 decades of statehood for Enugu. And not just Enugu in Southeast Nigeria. We also have Abia State and Anambra State alongside other states across Nigeria, such as Adamawa and Jigawa State, alongside other states. But today the focus is going to be on the Southeast because this is why Afia TV is indeed here. I'm Nathalie Uku once again, and Oji Wachuku is seated with me as always. Oji, how are you doing?
Great. Good morning and happy 34.
Happy 34th anniversary. Happy.
Always get you.
Good Wednesday to you.
Yeah, good Wednesday to you too.
And of course, straight from the Barr conference, the Nigerian Bar Association conference, we have 2 legal practitioners joining us this morning. You may know him as Ujoatumba. Of Ujoatumba and Company Limited, but we all call him not the guest. Barrister Chidi is the guest, but this one is the one that makes the sets great. Like when he starts analysis, he will shift forward, cameramen will be scrambling, mics will be falling off, so much going on at the same time. And that is none other than Barrister Chidi Ujoatumba and the company, a human rights lawyer. And of course, he's joined today by Mr. Bertrand Okoji, who's a legal practitioner. So I'll say Barrister Bertrand Okoji. Welcome to the morning show.
Good morning, and thanks for having us.
Good morning. Thank you for coming along with Barrister Chidi this morning. Great to have you. It's a pleasure. So today, 3 states in the Southeast turn 34. Of course, we have Enugu, we have Abia, we have Anambra. Enugu and Anambra from the old Anambra states and Afia from Imo State. So that's 34 years of statehood. How do you feel about this? Let's start with you, Barrister Okoji.
Okay, it's a good one. I would say congratulations to them. And also, thus far, 34 years has been a while. But I don't think the 34 years has paid off. Because when you look at it concerning developments, things that are put in place, past administrations, from the military era to the civilian era, I believe much work has to be done.
Right.
To justify the 34 years.
You came into Enugu from the Lagos branch of the Bar, isn't that? All the way from Ikeja.
Yeah, the Tiger branch.
The Tiger branch.
Yes.
How are you finding the state?
The good thing is I went to school here. I spent 4 years here, went to law school. I left in 2007 for practice in Lagos. And when I came back, it's been an amazing journey. A lot of developments. I got lost several times and all my colleagues. And this is the town I knew back of my hands.
Why did you get lost? Why did you get lost?
The road networks, the buildings, it's just like getting a kid a brand new toy. And he's amazed like, wow. So
I like the sound of that.
The governor, Barr, has done well.
That's fantastic. Great way to start the morning. Barrister Chidi, how did you feel listening to that?
Yeah, it's very, very sweet coming from him because we were together in a suit and he's someone that really loves this state. He's from Delta State, but we all schooled together here. And when he couldn't hold his breath, he was asking me, what has happened? I said, this is the same Enugu state that you were in. Yeah, a whole lot of developments have been in place. And then it's very, very important for us to give kudos to who have made it possible. Because let me tell you one thing. Everybody have the same access. Everybody have the same money. But it takes good leadership to put certain things in place. So I think the governor of this state has really gone ahead of others to ensure that this 34 years is not a fluke. You know, the Barr conference coming in here after 23 years, you understand, and the state looking the way it's looking, you understand, it's an amazing thing. If you interview my colleagues who are there at Opera Square, they will tell you that this is one of the best conference that we ever had. The facility, the ambience, you understand, the people, the love, the food. It's something to talk about. Maybe some other time.
The way your lips are into
Let's see how it goes.
All right, let's take a look at headlines making the waves this morning. See if we'll have any snippets from the Bar Association conference going on in the coast city. Begin with The Guardian this morning. Over 5,000 cargoes trapped at ports amid 2 trillion naira demurrage losses. Poses over security contract maintenance after 188th train derailment in 6 years. Gunmen kidnap pastor worshipper couple in Kogi, Katsina. Oshun drags federal government to Supreme Court over withheld local government funds. Rivers LG polls, police vow tough time for cultists and troublemakers. Electricity consumers raise concern over tariff hike epileptic supply. ASU threatens nationwide strike over unmet demands. Insecurity, Tinubu to unveil revised national counter-terrorism strategy. Court orders for future of ex-military officers 5 billion naira shares to federal government. On Vanguard, Presidency, Northern Blocs oppose PDP zoning tickets to South. ASU's protest disrupts academic activities on campuses nationwide. Benue Assembly suspends ex-speaker over Governor Aliya's impeachment move. Osun dragged federal government to Supreme Court over withheld local government allocations. Third mainland bridge mishaps, LASMA, police FRSC differ. Ribadu hands over 128 rescued kidnapped victims to families. Nigeria records 46% decline in variant polio virus cases. Moving on straight to the Daily Times, NSA hands over 128 rescued kidnapped victims to Zamfara government. 5 arrested for raping minor in Bauchi. PDP reps lament hardship, asks Tinubu to wake up to task. NGX projects $90 billion market opportunity as Nigeria-Brazil deepen investment ties. Defense Minister engages Brazilian counterpart on security bilateral cooperation. NSIB NRC commence investigation into Kaduna train derailment. And of course, Tinubu orders ban on sheer nuts exports. Nigerian Tribune. Osun takes federal government to Supreme Court over withheld local government allocations, challenges transfer of LG funds case to Abuja. 7 injured as Abuja-Kaduna train derails. Court orders 6 banks to furnish IGP with account details linked to Showore. ASU says patience with federal government runs thin as protests sweep campuses. Or your partners firm to develop Oluyole Free Trade Zone. Awujale Stool, Ogun government constitutes 11-member administrative body in Ijebu-Ode. NSA hands over 128 rescued Zamfara kidnapped victims to families, vows to hunt down bandits. Sugary drinks increase hair loss risk, scientists warn, and that's in health. And on The Nation, oil giant Petrobras return as key gain of Tinubu's Brazil visit. Oyebanji, no one can pit Ekiti against Tinubu. Governor, 2 others pick forms. PDP regrets fielding article in 2023, says Abamoro. Benue Assembly suspends ex-speaker for anti-Aliya plot. Nigeria's Dantosho elected VP of Global Ports Body. Sorry, I'll take that again. Nigeria's Dansoho, I beg your pardon, elected VP of Global Ports Body. NSA reunites 128 victims, rescued victims with families. And lastly here, Abuja-Kaduna train derailment. Tinubu promises support.
The Punch. 2027. PDP ticket zoning to South splits North. Parties northern stakeholders to review decision next week. Move may favor Tinubu's re-election, warn Iowa youths. Zoning fair to South, says Middle Belt. U.S. court jails Osun monarch over $4.2 million COVID-19 fraud. 239 first-class lecturers quit union lab over poor pay, says ex-VC. ASU protests rocks campuses ahead FG talks. Probe begins as Abuja-Kaduna train mishap injures 6. Moving over to Nigerian news direct. Pay are withheld salaries, not loans. ASU protests sweeps varsities nationwide. Warning one of looming strike over withheld salaries, failed agreement. NPA MD elected vice president of Global Ports Body. Nigeria, Brazil signed 5 MOUs to commence direct flights as Petrobras mulls return of Nigeria's energy sector. Former Benue Speaker suspended for 3 months, denies plotting impeachment against governor. Sanwo-Olu moves against illegal beach houses along Lagos coastline. CBN mandates banks, payment companies to geotag payments. Lastly, on Nigerian News Direct, 128 kidnapped victims reunited with their families attributed to NSA Ribadu. Moving over to Daily Sun, kidnapping 2.5 1.56 billion naira ransom paid in 1 year, reveals report. Tinubu to unveil revised national counterterrorism strategy, October. Withheld FG funds, Ocean drags FG to Supreme Court, challenges transfer of case to Abuja. We will wipe out terrorists, bandits, others too, says NSA. Hands over 128 rescued Zamfara victims. FG probes Abuja-Kaduna trail derailments, suspends operation on the route. Bandits on the rampage in Katsina. Murder security personnel abduct couple in dawn attack. I beg your pardon. Again, Governor Barr calls for Nnamdi Kanu's release. ASU members vote for indefinite strike as protest continues nationwide. Protesting lecturers shut campuses, ongoing exams threatened. Moving over to Amebo newspapers. Crash, panic, chaos. NSIB begins investigation into Abuja-Kaduna train derailment. APC Chieftain Alhaji Ismail Adebayo Isa Omar Dave celebrates Honorable Chief Lanre Oyegbola's birthday. APC fires back at Obasanjo over Tinubu incompetence claim. I beg your pardon. Benga Daniel denies defection rumors aims loyalty to APC. Benga Daniels denies defection rumors, affirms loyalty to APC. But the judge labels Northern ticket zoning push as selfish power play. No one can truncate Tinubu's second term bid in 2027, attributed to KB Governor Idris. We are prepared for mother of all strikes. ASU threatens. Anambra Assembly suspends lawmaker for 3 months over social media post. And lastly, salient times. NRC suspends Abuja-Kaduna train services after derailment. Passengers sustain injuries. NSIB begins investigation. August 16 by-election, Senator Usman drags Kaduna governor to ICC over PDP candidate chieftain's arrest. Benue Assembly suspends as speaker over plot to impeach Hyacinth Alia. Reactions as Deji Adeyanju lists 4 alleged ghost ministers in Tinubu's government. France returns call of beheaded king to Madagascar after 128 years. No more corruption since I took over as president, Tinubu boasts. And House of Reps to create constitutional role for traditional rulers, attributed to Dogua. Lastly, gunmen kill 8, injures others in Kaduna.
All right, thank you, Oji, for those headlines. I think we'll start from where you're both coming from and where you're going today. And that is, of course, the conference going on Daily Sun. At the bottom left corner, we're seeing again, Governor Barr calls for Nnamdi Kanu's release. And he did this during a Q&A session during the opening plenary. Yes. So I would like you to gain your reaction. What was the atmosphere like when the governor made that renewed call for Nnamdi Kanu's release, saying it's the right thing to do, and hopefully it will be done soon? Barrister Chidi.
Yes, Nnamdi Kanu's continuous detention is not just what is in the mouth of the Igbos, okay? Now, when you discuss this in the legal palace, we all have looked at the merit and the demerit of the case, and we know that if Nigeria really wants to move forward, it's very, very important that they release Nnamdi Kanu with immediate effect. There is no reason holding him bound. He has not committed any offense, neither have they proved any. So this elongated trial, it's really, really weakening him. It's weakening the movement. Look, let me tell you what, an idea that its time has come. Nobody can stop it. If you know that what he's doing is right, allow him, let him continue doing whatever he's doing. If he breaches any law, the law is there for him to face it. But continue holding him there does not do good to anybody. It has really, really caused a lot of wahala in the southeast here. And when you look at from the fundamental human right point of view, you cannot continue to hold him there. If you have anything like, let him be, okay, even if the case wants to continue, let him be granted bail. okay, let someone take him on the shoulder. Let him be coming there to be answering the case that I have against him. But for political and for the growth of the Southeast, I think Nnamdi Kanu should be released with immediate effect.
Now, why is it being still in consideration at this point in time, right? As you stated, it can be released on bail and come and answer your case, But he's still in consideration. So what's the reason why they can't let him go? So he comes back to, or whenever he has a case, he comes to answer, right?
Yeah.
Why is Nnamdi Kanu still being held in that dungeon, right?
That's what I say. Nnamdi Kanu's incarceration has to do with politics. It has to do with terrorism. When they bring issues that has to do with terrorism, and it's politically intertwined. So a lot of interests are at play. Some believe that, do you know that some Igbo governors believe that if Nnamdi Kanu is released, that he will cause problem for them. I'm speaking from the grapevine. Why some believe that? Yes, the kind of problem it will have for him, because his words, it's not an ordinary word. It gets to the root, to the core of your humanity. He tells you who you are. He tells you what is happening in the government. I don't know where he accesses his information, but when he speaks, you will be forced to listen to him.
All right, let's come to Barrister Koji now, and be interesting headline there. Born newspapers. Crash, panic, chaos. NSIB begins investigation into Abuja-Kaduna train derailment. Now, we do have footage of that derailment. I'm sure our producer will put that on the screen as we progress. But let's gain your reaction. Now, Nigerians are calling for improved and increased interest in rail transportation. Railways should be revived, especially in the Southeast. But we're seeing the example up north in Abuja and what happened between Abuja and Kaduna. Luckily, it had minimal impact. Of course, the trauma is still there. Now we're seeing NRC saying that the victims, the passengers, should be refunded. Nigerians are clamoring for compensation between not just a refund of what they paid for that ticket. What's your reaction to this new train derailment? They say it's the 188th time.
Wow. Well, for me, I believe the issue there is nobody takes responsibility. This is not the first time. And if you're telling me it's
188 recorded historically, yes.
It's
depressing regularity.
It's depressing. I think this issue has gone on for so long. It started with the ticketing issues, people getting ripped off, the sites not working and the rest of them. And now you're getting to this. I think this thing people need to take responsibility. People need to be called out. People need to face the law, to serve as a deterrent or what. I'm trying to be careful with my words. We need a situation where when things like this happen, and what they are claiming for, I don't see it happening. I don't.
Well, in the same claim, that's apparently what it's meant to be. It's not just refunding them ticket, have to
compensate them.
Compensate them.
The right way to
go. To right way to go. Unfortunately, they won't get compensation. They won't get refunds for their tickets. Nothing will happen. And there's going to be another incident of this.
Well, and the president already said he's going to step in to help.
Right. Let's go on a quick break now. When the Morning Show returns, we'll delve deeper into this emerging story. Stay tuned.
Here on the Eastern Eye, our sights are set on the political, social, and economic development around us. From Enugu to Umuahia, from Port Harcourt to Owerri, from Aba to Abakaliki, from Oka to Asaba, and down to Uyo, we bring you the views, previews, and analyses of people who make the news in and around the region. The Eastern Eye provides an opportunity for those in the Southeast to have their voice, to find their voice, share their voice. The Eastern Eye, the Southeast window to the rest of the world.
Welcome back. You're still watching the Afia Morning Show. We're still assessing newspaper headlines making the news, of course, this morning. Barrister Koji is still here, and Barrister Chidi Ujoatumba himself. All right, let's go ahead with your line of thought, Barrister Koji. I mean, we're looking at the 188th time this is happening in 6 years, according to reports. Go ahead with your line of thought.
So as I was saying, I think it was a couple of years ago, I think it was last year when we lost a certain Dr. Chinelu. In the same incident, what became of it? Nothing happened. I think a panel was set up, Presidency said they were going to step in to get still the same story, and it's happening again. So let's all believe that this time around, they will try and get it right, hopefully.
That's right.
Okay, well, let's get into serious political talks. And yes, PDP, they've done their meeting and they come to a conclusion. Barrister Chidi, they've zoned the tickets.
You're coming from Punch.
South.
Yeah.
They've zoned the ticket to the south. And okay, Punch said it right here. Okay, the Punch 2027 PDP ticket zoning to south splits north. My issue now is why the uproar in some faction in the northern part of the country, knowing fully well that the south is still present and still have 4 more years to go. What would be the issue? And is this going to be a kind of a power play? As stated, Atiku Abubakar has positioned himself and said that he's running for 2027. Now, the PDP is eyeing Goodluck Jonathan. There's Makinde, and from the grapevine, trying to poke or poach Peter Obi. So what could be the political play here, the dynamic political play here? Atiku Abubakar apparently positioned himself. The ADC seemingly looks like he is the one that is being propelled. What could be the power play here?
Let's see how it goes. But if you ask me, I will tell you the truth, okay? And nothing but the truth. It's high time we inculcated this rotational presidency between the North and the South inside the Constitution. Because the moment we done that, it will rest a lot of things. Each region will know when to raise their flag and when to lower their flag. Okay, probably PDP is coming from this flank that the last president of PDP was from the South, and that was Goodluck Jonathan. Apart from that, like you rightly pointed out, the North have had an uninterrupted 8 years during the time of Buhari. Okay, it's the time of the South. So even though the same political party is ruling, Oji, I'll be honest with you, I will vote for a Southern president. Even if that, if ADC like let them bring a Northern president, if PDP like them, I will always vote. If at the end of the day, Tinubu is the only person coming from the South, I'll vote for him. I swear, I'll vote for him. This is the time of the South. Let them allow us to finish these 8 years. But I also started by telling you that why don't we inculcate this thing into our constitution so that all this hula ballo will rest. When it's your turn, you know it's your turn. Nothing like a Milokan. You know by the constitution, by law, that it is the turn of your region. So if you go right deep into this discussion now, you will see that a lot of political power play will reveal itself in 2027. Atiku have bought ADC. There is no going back. He's not budging.
But Atiku says on one side that he's not desperate to be president.
He's not. That's Atiku's political. Let me tell you something. Atiku's political body language speaks louder than his speech.
Put this in perspective, right? If Atiku should be the flag bearer, the presidential flag bearer for ADC,
yes,
and PDP they've zoned to the north, to the south, and there is APC, a southern president who is contesting again for 2027.
Yes.
Wouldn't this be a pass mark for a northern candidate, knowing fully well that 2 southerners are contesting for 1 ticket with a northerner?
Let me just take you back to 2023. What happened?
Take us back.
What happened? Atiku was there in a PDP. Obi was in LP from South with Tinubu. What happened? They split the entire vote. That was why APC was able to clinch that power.
They split. Now,
they split.
There's
Yes.
a problem. The Southerners are splitting their votes. You get?
No, look at this between APC and opposition. APC in one side, the entire opposition, pack them in one side. Okay? Now, if they don't bring a Southerner, according to our political climate, because the North have had their own uninterrupted 8 years, and the South should have their own. It's an understanding that you have to take to the bank, and you will cash out at the end of the day, even though you're not a politician. The North have had 8 years. The South should have an uninterrupted. Okay, wait. Let me take you back to 2015. You know what Atiku did?
Yeah.
Atiku took away 5 governors from a PDP and joined this same APC. That was why Buhari was able to win the election. And Goodluck Jonathan lost. And that was also a Southerner. Okay? That was a Southerner. And Atiku wants to do the same thing to another Southerner, even though from the same APC that he ran into in 2015. If I will use that word,
right.
Atiku is like, the way he jumps from one party to the other, it shows that the only interest he has at hand is his own personal interest. His own personal interest. Yeah.
So, Salient Times, let's come back to you, Barrister Okoji. Now, NRC suspends Abuja-Kaduna train services after derailment. What does this incident mean for the broader conversation around railway transportation in Nigeria, about the future of railway transportation in this country?
It's just obvious that the railway system in Nigeria is not going to work. It's obvious. I think Amici started this, got in trains from China, set it up, and ever since they've never gotten it right. Now, if you're saying the road network isn't safe anymore and you're trying to use the railway network and it's not working, it means you're stifling the economy and the people, because getting on flights, it's super expensive.
That's true.
And if you're shutting this down, what's the hope for the common man? And what structures are you putting in place? What are you doing to try to make this work? So this is just another, I think it's just a ghost project again.
But people are calling so much for railway interest. I mean, isn't it quite pessimistic to say it would never work in Nigeria?
It's obvious. When Amici started it, billions and billions were pumped into this. They had options of getting the best hands to fix this thing, but they still relied on the old cargos, old trains, and the rest of them. And the funny thing is, most of these guys, they travel abroad. They go in, they take buses, they take trains. We have bullet trains in China and all over the world, and we're still relying on
Locomotion,
for Christ's sake.
How positive, Barrister Chidi, do you feel about the idea of bullet trains operating in Nigeria?
I think that by now that we should have had those trains.
I have to get it far right first.
Yes, yes. See, if you can manage a thing, you set it up and you hand it over to professionals and to people who can manage it, because it's an investment. My daddy was a railway. My late father worked with the Nigerian Railway Corporation for 35 years. I was using train to travel all around this country, but they are gone. Look at Southeast. Southeast have been neglected in this project. But let me tell you one thing. I slightly disagree with my colleague. I think I'm a little bit optimistic about the investment that the federal government is making in the railway corporation. Because look, when you look at the cost of transportation, when you look at the reach of transportation, and then when you look at stability, train is the actual thing that can enable you to ferry things from all this, hinterland to the open market, and a whole lot of things that if train is revitalized, it will reduce the load on the road. Our road keeps on depreciating because you see that rail and the slippers. If you install it very well, it can last for 35 years. But if you do a road very well, no matter how good you do a road, the most it can last in this country is like 3 years or 4 years, you understand? The road will go bad again. We cannot underestimate the importance of the railway services, you understand? So I think if they cannot manage it very well, let them set it up and hand it over to people who can manage it very well. Because I know what my colleague is pointing out is management.
Yes,
you understand? It's management.
Government doesn't have any business in doing business as a state.
That's right. All right, let's leave it at that for this morning. I mean, really interesting headlines. Anambra Assembly suspends lawmaker for 3 months over social media posts. I mean, that's a big story here in the region. Barrister Chidi, can we get your quick reaction before we wrap up? Because I know you have to get straight back to the conference.
A lot of things are happening in Anambra, and you keep on asking yourself this question, the kind of politics and the kind of democracy they are really, really enjoying there. There is this war against free speech, you understand? And it seems as though it's not restricted to you guys who are in the media world. It's something that cuts across all the human spectrum. Once you speak out or once you do one thing or the other, those are the hem of affair must have a way to reach you, to shut you up, to get at you, to criticize what you have said, or to take you off the airspace. I don't know how much we can condone this, okay? So let me just leave it at that. I know they are running out of time.
Yes, I'm running out of time, but you are as well. Now we're both
yes,
running out of time. Thank you
we're
so
running out
much.
of time. We're going back to the conference.
Having a conference and talk about this.
To continue.
Right.
Yes,
Yeah.
time didn't permit us. I would have wanted to tell you most of the issues that we have been discussing in the conference, and more especially the one we're going to
Believe me, we've been following you up.
discuss today.
Dirty money, transformational leadership, and the rest of that. Yes,
If you had seen that leadership session, it was a spectacular. The Minister of Interior was there, Obi Ezekwesili was there. The discussion was something else. It was later on in the day that we had Ikechukwu Onoma with the governor, and I mean, my problem is, after, let us release a communique
That's true.
that will distill this thing into action. If not, it's like having a cup of tea.
We have a long way to go on today, so we
Yes.
have to wrap up. But I'm sure we'll have an extensive conversation.
Yes,
much
we're gonna
later
do
around
that.
this communique.
Yes.
And maybe we'll issue a communique. After it. And you know, they say Enugu is now fully booked.
Enugu is fully booked.
Let's get into
I
that.
thought a lot of hotels in Enugu. I've been criticizing Enugu that is full of hotel. Only for me to know that out of just 30%, the lawyers who got accommodation, some are sleeping in their car, some are sleeping in friends' house, because the hotel accommodation in Enugu could not take
That's
the
right.
lawyers that came in.
All right.
So more people should build hotels.
Let's leave it at that. I mean, Enugu Kwenu has so many topics to pick from.
Exactly.
The whole box of topics. Is it the MBA conference?
Yeah.
Go at 34. I mean, so many topics, but we'll get to that much later. Thank you once again.
Thanks for
Barrister
having
Chidi
me.
joining
Thanks for having us.
And Barrister Okoji, so good having you. We're going on a quick break now. When the Monitor returns, we'll take regional stories, special reports on the 34th anniversary of the state right here in the Southeast. The Monitor returns in split seconds. Stay tuned.